Howdy, folks. Somebody told me that I should react to the presidential debate. So, react to the presidential debate I shall. Henceforth. This is a line. It's just here right now. It's gonna stay here.
The commission has designed the format, 6 roughly 15-minute segments, with 2-minute answers from each candidate to the first question, then open discussion for the rest of each segment. Both campaigns have agreed to these rules. Topics and the questions in each topic.
Am I white enough? I feel like I can never get the lighting right because I'm so pale. And if you just shine a light on paleness, it's like how the moon works. It's reflecting light from the sun. Like, I'm a little moon. This is so awkward. Trump is like low energy because he's been presidenting for so long and he hates it. And Biden is just like, I'm a Joe Biden. So, what a low energy entrance. Oh my God.
Is the Supreme Court. President Trump, you nominated Amy Coney Barrett over the weekend to succeed the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the court. You say the Constitution is clear about your obligation and the Senate's to consider a nominee to the court. Vice President Biden, you say that this is an effort by the president and Republicans to jam through an appointment and what you call an abuse of power.
Yeah, I heard about this. Apparently he appointed some super Catholic lady to be one of the Supreme Court justices. And I can't even remember. Apparently that's unconstitutional to do literally the thing that a president can do that's arguably the longest lasting, which is a point of Supreme Court justice. I don't remember this thing is unconstitutional now. It's literally in our Constitution.
So I think she's going to be fantastic. We have plenty of time, even if we did it after the election itself. I have a lot of time after the election, as you know.
Good in every way, except she wants to bring back abortion or something like that. I don't know. I didn't research it that much.
And we won the election, and therefore we have the right to choose her, and very few people knowingly would say otherwise. And by the way, the Democrats, they wouldn't even think about not doing it. If they had, the only difference is they'd try and do it faster.
Yeah, that's super dumb. Why did you do the thing that you're able to do? Because you're president.
The American people.
Oh my God. The American people. Joe Biden is gonna talk directly to the quote-unquote American people instead of debating this entire time.
Because that's the only way the American people get to express their view is by who they elect as president and who they elect as vice president.
This is so great. He just gets into this trance and he's like, the American people will vote for me because I believe in these things, unlike our president. Like, I don't know. This type of hypnosis is, I don't know.
The thing that should happen is we should wait. We should wait and see what the outcome of this election is.
Yeah, fucking right. There was a Supreme Court justice that just dropped dead, and then they appointed a new one. That's what everybody does. Why would you wait? That's ridiculous.
He's in the Supreme Court right now trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, which will strip 20 million people from having insurance, health insurance now, if it goes into court. And the justice, and I'm not opposed to the justice.
It depends on what state you're in, because I'm in Washington State and we have pretty good state insurance, which picks up most of the tab. If you live in some hellhole in the South or something where they don't really have good health insurance, yeah, you'll be affected by it. But for what I can tell, the Affordable Care Act just did barely this much. Like, made healthcare companies pay 25% of whatever's left over for drugs or something like that. Like a very incremental change. Whether you could argue that premiums went up because of it or not, I don't know. But it's just sort of mandating certain things, like you're able to get health insurance even if you have pre-existing conditions and all that. It's mostly that.
And there's 100 million people who have pre-existing conditions, and they'll be taken away as well.
And the 100 million people, Joe, the 100 million people is totally wrong. I don't know where you got that number. The bigger problem that you have is that you're going to extinguish 180 million people with their private health care that they're very happy with.
That's simply not true.
Well, you're certainly going to socialist. You're going to socialist medicine. And the 100 million people, Joe, the 100 million people is totally wrong. I don't know where you got that number. The bigger problem that you have is that you're going to extinguish 180 million people with their private health care that they're very happy with.
That's simply not true.
Well, you're certainly going to socialist. You're going to socialist medicine.
That actually isn't true. Obamacare works with private health care. It doesn't go away. It just has like these really low benchmarks that companies need to follow to kind of hold them accountable to be ethical. But no, you don't have to change. Because I read some of that because of my job, and it incrementally changes, but yeah, that's a huge misconception. They're not gonna just that's like the far left Democrat idealized version of single payer healthcare. But the thing is, to get that passed in government, you can't just do it in one fell swoop. This is like an incremental step, so-called, towards that direction, but that's not going to happen for a really long time if it does.
Going to socialist. You're going to socialist medicine.
We're now into
Socialist. Yeah, well, they can dream. They can certainly dream.
What I proposed is that we expand Obamacare and we increase it. We do not wipe any, and one of the big debates we had with 23 of my colleagues trying to win.
That's what I'm a little concerned about. He makes these swooping statements like, we'll expand on what we already have and we'll add to Obamacare and everything. The problem is, you're not Obama, you know? Say what you will about Obama, but he like got shit done. Like he passed stuff. Whether or not it'll make both sides happy, I don't know. But you just say weird sweeping statements about expanding it, but you have no like technical jargon of how you're gonna do it. No. I'm not getting behind something if you don't even know what it is, what you're gonna do. But let's listen. Maybe he has like this magical idea of how he's gonna expand Obamacare.
Allow people to have private insurance still. They can. They do. They will under my proposal.
It's not what you've said,
But
and it's not what your party has said.
That is simply
your party
a lie.
doesn't say it. Your party wants to go socialist medicine.
My party is
and
me.
socialist
right
healthcare.
Now, I am
and
the
they're going to
Democratic
dominate
Party.
you, Joe. You know that.
I am the Democratic Party right now.
Yeah. That's the thing, though, is that we only get two parties, so each candidate has to appeal to the far right or the far left and also the middle ground people. So they're like limited by what they can say because they want the vote from the extremists and the moderates of each side.
Have survived. Well, there's 7 million people that contracted COVID. What does it mean for them going forward if you strike down the Affordable Care Act?
Joe, you've had 308,000 military people dying because you couldn't provide them proper health care in the military. So don't tell me about this.
I'm happy to talk about this.
And if you were here,
Look,
it
here's
wouldn't be
the deal.
200, it would be 2 million people because you were very late on the draw. You
Late
didn't
on
want
the
me to
draw.
ban China, which was heavily infected.
Oh crap, this COVID blame system. Do we blame China? Do we blame President Trump? Do we blame anybody in office? And the Democrats will be like, you should have done this, you should have done that, but they don't have like any power at that point. Or Biden doesn't, at least. Biden's not even in office right now. The he said, she said, they would have blah blah blah.
You didn't want me to ban
all right, gentlemen,
Europe, which
no,
was heavily
Mr. President,
You would have
Mr.
been much
President,
later, Joe.
Mr. President,
much later.
Mr. President.
Oh, yeah. Apparently they say one thing and then the president does one thing and then it's his fault for not doing the thing that they didn't tell him to do. Yeah, apparently, I don't really know if this is true or not, Biden and the Democrats didn't want him to close down travel between the United States and China or something, because he was being racist or something. I don't know.
That the president also is opposed to Roe v. Wade. That's on the ballot as well in the court. And so that's also at stake right now. And so the election is already
You don't know it's
begun.
on the ballot. Why is it on the ballot?
Because
Why is it
you
on the
said
ballot? It's not
you're-
on the ballot.
It's on the ballot in the
I
court.
don't think so.
In the court. Well,
There's nothing happening there.
Donald, would you
And you
just be
don't
quiet
know
for a
her
minute?
view on Roe v. Wade. You
I
don't
don't
know her
know.
view.
Yeah, Roe v. Wade was established in 1970 whatever, and it hasn't been repealed since then. So you've had like a lot of rulings, a lot of court rulings that keep establishing it. You have to do a lot of heavy lifting to get rid of Roe v. Wade.
In which the Trump administration, along with 18 state attorneys general, are seeking to overturn
That's right.
Obamacare, to end Obamacare. You have spent the last...
Because they want to give good health care.
If I may.
I'm sorry, I can't help it, but look how orange he is. At what point is it too much? Sorry, it's like going to a zoo and seeing a tiger and being like, wow, look how orange that is. How did it get so orange? Just, over time.
Dual mandate was the most unpopular
Mr. Vice Pre-
aspect of
Mr.
Obamacare. I
President,
got rid of it.
I'd like you
and
to,
we will protect
Mr.
people
President,
with
I'm the
pre-existing
moderator of this
conditions.
debate, and I would like you to let me ask my question, and then you can answer.
Go ahead.
He's like, hello, I'm Mr. Moderator. You can't say that. Yeah, I think the moderator they chose is just a little too polite, but you can tell he's enjoying this. He definitely. By the way, that cat is really annoying. He's not my cat, but he just roams around and manifests his surroundings. Now he's licking his asshole.
Excuse me, I got rid of the individual mandate, which was a
That
big
is not a
chunk of
comprehensive
Obamacare.
plan.
That is absolutely a big thing. That was the worst
I
part of
didn't ask,
Obamacare.
sir.
Chris,
You're
that was the
debating him,
worst
not
part of
me.
Obamacare.
Let me ask my
Well,
question.
I'll ask Joe.
The
Individual mandate was the most unpopular aspect of Obamacare. I got rid of it.
And you know why that is? It's the more healthy people are on health insurance, it brings down the price. So that's like a price control. Do I think it's constitutional? Probably not. But I mean, that's how health insurance works, how any insurance works. You have to have enough people in the pool that aren't sick, that are actually healthy. It's for the companies, basically.
You, in the course of these 4 years, have never come up with a comprehensive plan to replace Obamacare, and just this last Thursday, you signed a largely symbolic executive order to protect people with pre-existing conditions 5 days before this debate. So my question, sir, is what is the Trump health care plan?
Yeah, if you get rid of it, what do you replace it with? If you're sick, fuck you, insurance.
Days before this debate. So my question, sir, is what is the Trump health care plan?
Fine. Well, first of all, I guess I'm debating you, not him. But
Yeah. Yep, Biden has no input. He's just standing there. Oh my gosh. This is one of the worst debates ever, because they don't actually debate. Trump just debates the freaking Fox News rep whatever guy who is debating both sides. What's Biden even doing there?
let me just tell you something, that there's nothing symbolic. I'm cutting drug prices. I'm going with favored nations, which no president has the courage to do because you're going against Big Pharma. Drug prices will be coming down 80 or 90%. You could have done it during your 47-year period in government, but you didn't do it.
Yeah, this is actually the one thing that made me lean towards Trump is him cutting drug prices because yeah, apparently there's a huge markup for drugs and just cuz we can make money on it. It's just the most evil shit ever. And it's hard for me to not support a president that actually cuts drug prices. Not that I personally am on any drugs, but I mean that's pretty significant. Yeah, I don't agree with everything he says, but to cut drug prices, he's cutting, I think he passed a mandate to cut the prices of insulin and EpiPens or whatever. Really insanely life-saving stuff that was at a huge markup for no reason.
I'll give you an example. Insulin.
Insulin.
So cheap. Take a look at all of the drugs that what we're doing, prescription drug prices. We're going to allow our governors now to go to other countries to buy drugs because they pay just a tiny fraction.
As I say, this is open discussion.
Which, I mean, don't be diabetic. Take care of yourself. But if not that, should you die because you can't afford insulin? No. It's expensive. It's hundreds of dollars a month, depending on how much you need to take. It's huge.
So cheap. Take a look at all of the drugs that what we're doing, prescription drug prices. We're going to allow our governors now to go to other countries to buy drugs because they pay just a tiny fraction.
As I say, this is
Yeah, that's a good point. How come you can get one drug so much cheaper in one country, but in our country it's astronomically expensive?
open discussion.
No,
Let
but
me
this
ask
is
you about,
big- this
you'll
is
be happy,
big stuff.
sir, you'll be happy. I'm about to pick up on one of your points to ask the vice president, which is he points out.
Sir, let's involve the vice president. Let's involve, you know, the other person running for president. This is a safe space. It's all inclusive. Let's involve Biden. Because he is officially running for president.
That you would like to add a public option to Obamacare.
Public option. Yeah, what'll happen if all the healthy people are like, why the hell would I get health insurance at all? And then the only people who have health insurance are sick people.
He says, by the way.
It will end private insurance and create a government takeover of health care.
It does not. It's only for those people who are so poor they qualify for Medicaid. They can get that free in most states, except governors who want to deny people who are poor Medicaid. Anyone who qualifies for Medicare would, Medicaid would automatically be enrolled in the public option.
Oh yeah, like all over the South, probably Louisiana, Georgia, like Mississippi, like all the really poor states that are like, screw you, you can't get state insurance. Yeah, that's what any healthcare legislation mandates or options will really affect. The people that are suffering the most anyway, because their states suck.
Number one.
Joe, you
Number
agreed
two.
with Bernie Sanders, who's far left, on the manifesto,
When
we
you-
call it.
when
And that gives you socialized medicine.
Look, hey,
Okay, does he agree with Bernie's politics just because all the Bernie supporters are now like, wow, hold your nose and vote for Biden even though we don't like him? Sure, a lot of people who did support Bernie are now voting for Biden. It doesn't say anything about what Biden supports.
fact of the matter is, I beat Bernie Sanders.
Not by much.
I beat him a whole hell of a lot. I'm here standing facing you, old buddy.
Pocahontas would have
He's like, Bernie Sanders is my rival. I destroyed him.
left
Well,
2 days
I tell
early.
you,
You would have lost every primary.
All he knows how to
on
do
Super
is hurt.
Tuesday. You got
Look,
very lucky.
here's the deal. I got very lucky. I'm going to get very lucky tonight as well. And tonight I'm going to
With
make
what?
sure because
With what?
here's the deal. Here's the deal.
How petty could this get? It's like a low energy bickering match between like two old people who hate each other, but they still live together. Like, it's really fucking weird. It's such low energy. It's like neither of them really care. How are we supposed to care?
Wrong guy, the wrong
Joe,
night at
no.
the wrong time.
Listen, you agreed with
Here's the
Bernie
deal.
Sanders to the
The
manifesto.
whole idea.
Let him.
There is no manifesto, number
Please
one.
let him speak, Mr.
Number
President.
He
two.
just lost the left.
I do kind of know about the manifesto because I grew up in like a far left kind of household where we kind of just hate America and hate, I'm serious, hate capitalism. We fetishize Europe and how great Europe is and how Europe runs and want the United States to be more like Europe. Without having gone there ever or known anybody who's actually lived there. But I mean, yeah, that's far left. You get your crazy libertarians in the far right too. It just so happens that he has to make them all happy.
Folks, do you have any idea what this clown's doing?
They call it
Mr.
Do you have any idea?
socialized medicine.
Mr.
Well, I
President.
tell you what, he is not for any help for people needing health care. Because
Bernie?
because he, in fact, already has cost 10 million people their health care.
That's the thing though. If helping out any low income people at all, if that's socialism, then we already have socialism.
Ever look you in the eye and say that's what he wants to do? Take it away.
No, I want to give them
Number
better
three.
health care at a much lower price
But-
because
and by the way,
Obamacare
he doesn't
is
know
no
how.
good.
He doesn't know how
I've
to do
already
that.
fixed it.
He has never
I've
offered
already
a
fixed
plan.
it to an extent.
He has never
Obamacare,
done a
as
single
you might
thing.
know, but probably don't.
Gentlemen, you
Obamacare
realize
is no
if you're
good,
both
Joe.
speaking at the
It's no
same
good,
time,
and it's too expensive.
let the president go ahead, sir.
Obamacare is no good. We made it better, and I had a choice to make very early on. We took away the individual mandate.
Oh, he did. Okay. Let's see if healthcare burns to the ground because that's gone. Sorry, that's the anarchist in me. I just want to find out what happens. Let me put it this way. The individual mandate was just to please the big companies so that Obamacare could get passed at all. Let's be real about that. It evolves over time. The first version, V1, is crap. I mean, I guess it helps a little bit, but, we're gonna evolve from that. Instead of calling it Obamacare, it's just the new healthcare system that's constantly, apparently, gonna get better, I hope. I don't know.
Have refused in the past to talk about it. Are you willing to tell the American people tonight whether or not you will support either ending the filibuster or packing the court?
Whatever position I take on that, that'll become the issue. The issue is the American people should speak. You should go out and vote. You're in voting now. Vote and let your senators know how
Are you gonna
strongly
pack
you
the
feel.
court?
Oh my god. Talking to us with his direct Biden voice. That is irrelevant. You should vote. And then we'll know that I'm right. I am robot Biden. I almost said Obama. Wouldn't it be great if we can just cut out the middleman and just replace Biden's brain with a microchip? And then we can it'll just be like a complete puppet. He'll be efficient. He'll just say whatever, whatever the special groups want him to say. That would be great, but we don't have the technology yet.
You're in voting now. Vote and let your senators know how
Are you gonna
strongly
pack
you
the
feel.
court?
Call now.
It is what it is because you are who you are. That's why it is.
What simplistic language. It is what it is, 'cause you are who you are, and you have no plan.
The president has no plan. He hasn't laid out anything. He knew all the way back in February how serious this crisis was. He knew it was a deadly disease. What did he do?
Joe Biden's voice just puts me to sleep. I'm sorry. It just...
Open, millions of people would have died, not 200,000, and one person is too much. It's China's fault. It should have never happened.
Bad China. Bad China.
Make a note of this. Dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow.
My doing it early. In fact, Dr. Fauci said President Trump saved thousands of lives. Many of your Democrat governors said President Trump did a phenomenal job. We worked with the governor. Oh, really? Go take a look. The governors said I did a phenomenal job. Most of them said that.
Is this approaching our liar phase of the debate? I saw some stupid tweet about the governor he was talking about saying, "I never said that. I never supported Trump." Or how he handled things. Oh, this is so petty.
The only thing I haven't done a good job, and that's because of the fake news. No matter what you say to them, they give you bad press on it. It's just fake news. They give you good press, they give me bad press.
Fake news.
But I'll tell you, Joe, you could never have done the job that we did. You don't have it in your blood. You could have never done that job.
I know how to do the job. I know how to get the job
Well, you didn't do very well in swine flu. H1N1, you were a disaster. Your own chief of staff said you were a disaster.
14,000 people died.
This is where it gets brutal. You wouldn't have done any better. I know how to do the job. I'm good at jobs. I've been in a job forever. Like, what is going on?
The reason it's shut down is because, look, you folks at home, how many of you got up this morning and had an empty chair at the kitchen table because someone died of COVID? How many of you were in a situation where you lost your mom or dad and you couldn't even speak to them? You had a nurse holding a phone up so you could, in fact, say goodbye.
You would have lost far more people. Far more people. You would have been
months late. And by the way, your own...
Oh, stop speaking directly to the so-called American people. Oh my gosh. Biden hypnosis continues.
How many of you were in a situation where you lost your mom or dad and you couldn't even speak to them? You had a nurse holding a phone up so you could, in fact, say goodbye.
How many of you tried to speak to the manager but couldn't?
The head of your Operation Warp Speed, Dr. Smawi?
I disagree with him. Yeah, no, I disagree with both of them. And he didn't say that. He said it could be there, but it could also be much sooner. I had him in my office 2 days ago.
He talked about the summer, sir, before it's generally available. Just like
he said it's a possibility that we'll have the answer before November 1st.
Every serious company is talking about maybe having a vaccine done by the end of the year. But the distribution of that vaccine will not occur until sometime beginning or the middle of next year to get it out, if we get the vaccine.
Oh my gosh. But is it political? Like, you can't rush science. I secretly kind of love this pandemic because now everybody cares more about science and research and how long it takes to get a vaccine. It's nothing new. It takes at least a year, possibly several years to get a good vaccine. Just because there are trials that need to happen and now we have like a lot of funding for it because it's a big deal. But oh my gosh, science, why can't they just do it immediately? Why can't they just skip the animal testing phase and the freaking human testing phase? Let's just get it right now and find out what happens. I do not want to be one of the first people to get that vaccine if they're gonna rush it. But you know what? It sounds like they're not rushing it, which is good. But yeah, the president might be a little bit delusional about how fast it usually takes to get a vaccine. But we'll see.
Did you use the word smart? So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated.
Oh, look at Joe Biden's fake smile. I can't even do it.
Either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word.
Oh.
Do we trust the scientists or do we trust Trump? Or do we trust Trump's scientists?
Never use that word.
Oh, give me a break.
Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Joe. 47 years, you've done nothing.
Let's have this debate.
And if you would have had, let me just tell you something, Joe.
No,
if you would have had the charge.
Don't get smart with me, young man. Sorry, boomer humor.
Whichever of you ends up becoming the next president. I want to quickly go through several of those. Reopenings. Vice President Biden, you have been much more reluctant than President Trump about reopening the economy and schools. Why, sir?
They're talking about the comedy.
He's gonna feed the economy.
Opening the economy and schools. Why, sir?
Because he doesn't have a plan. If I were running, I'd know what the plan is.
Did you just say if I were running, I would know what the plan is? Aren't you running? Wait. Are you saying if you were president, you'd know what the plan is? What the hell? What is this crap? What are you talking about? Why don't you already know what the plan is?
Nancy Pelosi and Schumer, they have a plan. He won't even meet with them. The Republicans won't meet with him in the Senate. And he sits on his golf course. And I mean, literally, think about it.
They have a plan. I have a plan. Everyone has a plan except for President Trump. Will we hear about the plan? The specifics of the plan? No, we will not.
Republicans won't meet with him in the Senate. And he sits on his golf course. And I mean, literally, think about it.
He sits at his golf course. Can we please just English properly?
He wants to shut down the country. We just went through it. We had to because we didn't know anything about the disease. Now we found that elderly people with heart problems and diabetes and different problems are very, very vulnerable. We learned a lot. Young children aren't, even younger people.
That's true, thank you. Young children are actually recover the quickest from COVID. So it doesn't really make any sense to not have kids in school. I mean, just keep them away from their at-risk family members, and they need something to do. Online school is crappy. I'm glad I'm not in school anymore, even college. Well, I'm not so glad about that, but it's almost like the facts don't matter. If anybody's at risk, then shut down everything. That's kind of, and that'll go on forever.
Because people want to hear what I have to say. I mean,
But are you not worried about it spreading
as a
disease?
president, and I'll have 35,000 people show up at airports. We use airports.
Are you not worried about
we
the
have
disease
a lot of
issues,
people.
sir?
Well, so far we have had no problem whatsoever. It's outside. That's a big difference, according to the experts. And we do them outside. We have tremendous crowds.
Really, no problem whatsoever. Thousands and thousands of people going to Trump rallies. Not one single person infected.
So did you.
People want their schools. No, people want their schools open. They don't want to be shut down. They don't want their state shut down. They want their restaurants. I look at New York. It's so sad what's happening in New York. It's almost like a ghost town. And I'm not sure it can ever recover what they've done in New York. People want their places open. They want to get back to their lives. They'll be careful, but they want their schools open. I'm the one that brought back football. By the way, I brought back Big Ten.
Well, you know, in theory, shutting everything down for a prolonged period of time, even if it's not necessary, would be quite the smooth segue into socialism, where we all get the same government check from everybody and everything's government ran. I'm not saying it will be. I'm just saying if you were going to make everything socialist, using a pandemic like this and shutting everything down would be a great way to do it.
Is it true that you paid $750 in federal income taxes each of those 2 years?
I paid millions of dollars in taxes, millions of dollars of income tax. And let me just tell you, there was a story in one of the papers.
Show us your tax
I paid $38 million 1 year.
Okay, now we're bringing up the president's tax record again. I can't do anymore. I guess I'll do a part 2 or something like that, but I'm burnt out from this bullshit. I hope you guys like it. I hope that this video does well, otherwise y'all are gonna get it. Well, that's it. I'm Rachel McRage. Peacing out. You better subscribe, or I don't know who you are, or don't care. Later.